Greetings, my fellow airsoft nerds. I am back to talk shit about other people's content, cause that's what you do when you're not playing a whole lot and managing 2 fields and 2 stores. So on that, this was an Airsoftology video. Now I'm gonna be real. My personal take on Airsoftology is it's kind of a dying channel. So he's really just doing vlogs, and they're sort of ambiguous. He doesn't really get, if you look at like the way he talks about specific topics, like the way he's talked about legal issues, and sort of these sort of cultural things here and there, he doesn't get very specific in things, because I think he's just doing this shit just to get content out there, which I'm not mad at. I mean, it's clearly a successful channel, so you can't bang on homie for making his fucking money. And so this was a Q&A video, and this was one of the questions. So usually when any content creator does a Q&A, they take the most, what they think is going to be the most attention-grabbing question, and they throw that up as like the main shit, and they base everything around that. So this actual question comes up at about a minute into the video. The question was asked by, I'm going to guess, a kid named Ja Lu. What's your take on the current state of airsoft? It's been a while since I heard you speak, and it feels like casual airsoft is losing momentum, ... while Speed QB is gaining it. He takes this further into talk really about more of quote-unquote Speedsoft. Again, Speed QB is a brand. Speedsoft is a fucking whatever, a fucking airsoft pronoun, if you want to call it that. I personally, now, I'm gonna give you my personal opinion, and then my opinion as a manager, kind of slash content, as someone someone who makes money off of airsoft. I personally, James Shahan, fucking cringes when I hear kids talk about milsim slash Speedsoft. I don't think that shit's real. I've done videos on this before. I think it's just basically marketing. It's just a way for people that create products to put you in a fucking box into an easily sellable demographic, and then they just cater to you. All this shit is just airsoft to me, because no one has been able to definitively state what is and is not Speedsoft and what is and is not milsim. I've done videos on this subject before if you want to check those out. I don't think this shit is real. Most of the time when people are describing Speedsoft, it's just running and shooting. Okay, I don't know if you've ever seen how police officers trained to respond to an active shooter, but that's basically, you're looking at Speedsoft. The typical definition of milsim is this old OIF1 slow deliberate bullshit where everyone stacks together, and then usually milsim, when I see players or when I hear players describe it to me, they're basically describing like this pussy ass touch butt way to play airsoft where no one wants to get aggressive or shoot someone in the head and everyone has to stay 10 feet away like we're social distancing. I'm very against that style. I say get fucked, you get point blank in the neck. That's just me. I'm an aggressive guy. I come from a very aggressive background. I do things that are still sort of aggressive as a hobby. So let's get onto this shit, yeah?
What we're seeing is if you're at an indoor field, by and far, it is becoming Speedsoft. And I think if you go back 3-ish.
Again, he's already said he's not going to define what Speedsoft is, because he doesn't know. Because he's just making a fucking video and trying to get some money off of it, so good for him.
Years, a lot of fields, at least specifically me speaking for US and even here in Taiwan where I live, were very resistant of the Speedsoft move.
Boom, there you go. Okay, so what he's really saying is you're not anti-Speedsoft, you're anti-shit that's gonna make pussy-ass little kids not want to come back to your field.
They were really pushing back. Some of the more professional or more advanced Speedsoft players can be hyper aggressive. They're going to run HPAs, or platforms are going to be shooting a lot of BBs a second, and a lot of players are having a bad situation. And if you own a field as a field owner, you need all your players to come back. You want everybody to show up, including the newer players. Specifically in the US, you have a lot of younger players that can play. I mean, you can play, some of these fields will let you play down to 10 years old. And you have one time out there playing, you get stitched up with 20 BBs a second because somebody's just got a hair trigger, and it's over. But
all right, so kind of yes, kind of no, but again, he's being ambiguous. He's not a field manager. He doesn't know shit about running a field. I run 2. If a kid shows up to either of my field and it's too aggressive for them, they don't need to come back. I have my field set the way it is. I have my rules set the way they are to make my life and my staff's life easy. We allow kids to get point blank 3 times in the back of the neck. I don't care. That is field legal. We brief that. We let kids know. We let parents know. Everyone's fine. If some, 9-year-old strolls onto the field and doesn't like that, okay, then it's not for him. Next. But I'll have kids that have been 8 to 12 years old come out, get just lit up, and they have the time of their life. You could really say this is really just more of a microscopic way to view society as a whole and how we want to fucking coddle our kids and not teach them to grow up, deal with adversity, be better. And that's been my main theme for years.
I think with things that have changed so much and flash forward a few years, it's become way too prevalent. I think you're seeing a lot of big move too. What's making Speedsoft more accessible for these fields, or at least more palatable, is the move from the primary HPA long rifle platforms to a smaller platform of using the HPA pistols. You've seen a ton of guys and gals out there playing either an HPA tap pistol or a high kappa with like a box mag or something on it, which, while you can overshoot, it's not as aggressive.
What high kappas have box mags? Those things break so easily.
There's a little different playstyle to it, so I think it's making it a little more accessible, and the shops have found a way to put some revenue behind that. Before, when you had a, let's say, Polar Star or like Marine, you'd get the engine, you drop it in, and that was it, right? The shop got one sale, and yeah, they'd fill up your tank full of air, and they'd sell you some BBs, but let's face it, these things don't break.
So he's talking about the engine itself, and this is where this tells you that he doesn't know anything about not to say he doesn't know anything about retail because he's in some sort of, I don't know, professional industry in Taiwan because he turned his back on this country. But anyway, this is where it tells you that he doesn't run shops. He doesn't know how to run a shop. Whenever a kid wants to upgrade their rifle, their AEG to an HPA, we always tell them, like, okay, if you're gonna Ferrari out your gun, you need to start thinking about maybe a better quality inner, a better quality bucking, a better quality hop up, a better quality trigger if you want to get that trigger tuned. But anyone that just sells an HPA engine and doesn't know how to upsell internal parts is a fucking moron anyway, and shouldn't be in charge of shops. So to me, this is kind of a moot point again, because I don't think he has the experience running stores.
And it's really tough for a shop to survive if you're not continually coming back to buy parts and things. And I think when you move to a gas blowback system like the pistols, there's still some maintenance involved in these upgrades and the tuning and all the styling that comes with it, and the ability to make decent money on these slides. There's pretty good profit margins, actually.
No,
so not. I think
let's shoot that argument down right now. Okay, so here's the e-bike parts listing for slides. Now, anyone in the high kappa game will tell you that really the only slides you need to be selling are pretty much for the most part, is masterpiece slides. Anyone in the high kappa game will tell you it's not really that easy to get Airsoft master slides. You see all these other dudes springing up here and there trying to do their own thing, but I'm still not convinced a lot of that quality. For me, it's Airsoft master slides or nothing for the most part. Even though they're sold out, here's the margin that I get on any of these alpha slides. It's an 18% margin. 18% is entry level. I get 30% when I sell a combat machine from 101 Tech. Now, mind you, e-bike usually takes about 5% of this profit margin for themselves. So if I were to go factory direct with Airsoft Master, I'd probably be getting more of like a 25% margin. Here's the problem with that. I've tried to go direct through Airsoft Master. It is a 5,000 US, it's either 2,500 or 5,000 US dollar minimum order, and everything that you want is sold out. It's a pain in the ass to order through them, and it's not necessarily their fault. They just simply can't keep up with the demand of all these different US buyers, because they're now mind you, Evike is going through Master, Amped, all these big companies, plus then you have all these stores like me that are trying to do that also. So I mean, when shit comes up, it's gone real quick. So when he says like, oh, there's all this money to be made, no, there's not. With high kappa slides, it's very niche and specific to a very specific type of player. Even then, with high kappa slides, you have to get basically all these different colors and types. So just because you have, let's say, 5 of these blue two-tone alpha slides, that doesn't mean they're going to sell fast, because you're going to get kids that come in and want, the pink singles, or they're going to want the what's that other variation that the kids, or they want these are the popular ones also, or they're going to want some of these X2s. Again, same. Look at the margin, 15% dealer margin. So no, you there's not a significant amount of money to be made in this. There's not. You know where the real money is? I'll tell you right now. The real money in airsoft is in guns and textile products like your mag pouch, matrix mag pouches, plate carriers, chest rigs, stuff like that, and batteries. Batteries are usually going to give you a 30 to 50% margin. Guns on average give you a 30% margin. Textile products like I think, is that the correct term for it? Mag pouches, plate carriers, stuff like that. You're looking at like 40 to 60 depending on the brand. You make a lot. I make way more consistent money selling matrix plate carriers, those foamy plasticky ones that are like 65 bucks. I make way more money on those than I do with high cap slides and parts. You're crazy.
I kind of want to ask you watching the show right now, what's your experience with the Speedsoft style play in an outdoor field? And I'm talking like just the type.
All right, again, he's not defining what this shit. What the fuck is Speedsoft? Is it aggression? I mean tournament airsoft, because Speedsoft is what is that? Being aggressive, is that competitive play? Because to me, it's not tournament play. If we're saying tournament style play, then like your standard 5-on-5 format, because no one's really doing that at outdoor fields. The closest you'll usually see to quote unquote speed soft in an outdoor field is if paintball fields are letting airsofters play on like hyperball style fields. That's the closest you're gonna get. Or like those fields that will have like those big IBC totes stacked up. I have kids try to say that I have a speed soft field at combat zone because I have a bunch of stacked up totes. What? Okay. What is the metric we are using to define what speed soft is?
Like you have a proper like outdoor field. Let's say there's buildings and stuff. Are you seeing the Speedsoft style play inch into that aggressive play style? Does it work in the outside, or is it still more of that skirmish level play? Because that's something I haven't had a chance to experience. Here you don't see it at all at the outdoor fields. Enough about that. I think definitely Speedsoft is here to stay, and it's going to be really hard to uproot it, especially at the indoor fields. I think it's.
So if you kind of listen to him, it sounds like he's just this crusty, like he's like that. He sounds like that same old crusty guy that's like, oh, you didn't have to shoot me in the head. Like that's the kind of guy he sounds like this very old school soft touch butt airsoft in a backyard somewhere, where it's just like proper gentlemen drinking tea and very polite. Like, no, dude, that's not where the fuck is that. Again, what are we using to define what Speedsoft is and is not? Are we saying tournament play? Because I have a outdoor speed field. It's turfed. It's a tournament field. It's a speed. It's called the speed field because I like to make money and I have to use these fucking terms that I personally hate so I can make money. I have an outdoor speed field. No one goes to it. No one cares. Indoor, yeah. If you have a solid indoor tournament style field, kids will go to it. Because if you look at the influence SpeedQB has had over the last 4 or 5 years, the content is great. Their style of content, huge. It's so, pardon me, it's so incredibly well done, and it's so very community and player focused. It's SpeedQB has created airsoft tournament culture within the United States, and arguably beyond the United States as well. SpeedQB did that. Fucking straight up, let's be real. They're the ones that pioneered it, and they deserve the respect for that. Now I'm talking more about tournament style airsoft. And because of that, because SpeedQB was able to create such this amazing, well-established and recognized brand, field managers were able to look at them and go, oh, I could fucking make money off those guys. Let's do that. So they'd pull them in, and they'd have a big day, like your EA Fest. Who else has done them? SS Airsoft. I think Nashville does big days and stuff like that. And they'll do events, and those events will boost attendance, and you make more money. So because of the SpeedQB brand and the brand they were able to build, yes, that does appeal to a lot of managers. However, if you're not indoor, no one's gonna care about your speed field. I'm gonna be real. So outdoor Speedsoft, again, assuming you mean just an aggressive style of play that isn't just some like, hey, let's tiptoe around kind of shit. What is Speedsoft, John? What are you talking about, my guy? Get real. Like, get specific, you silly man, you. This really does just sound like I'm shitting on him, doesn't it? It's kind of mean. I don't mean to sound that mean. Anyway, but again, he is just trying to create a video, do a quick little Q&A on things, and I am now making a React video because I'm too busy and / lazy to do any quality gameplay videos anymore. So I guess I'll just go fuck myself too.
Caber, who the f are you, nerd?